jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
A big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-side official, no negotiation needed, period. You already know the first in the building. The OG Mr. Golden on deck. Salute to you, man. What's good? Appreciate you pulling up as always, man. And for anyone else that's on their way in the door, do me a big favor and handle your responsibilities. I'm not telling you. You know what's up. You know how to do it. And hey, if you support the channel, you know what to do. Shout out to Carlos Rosado in the building. What's good with it, Carlos? I see you, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to Mr. International Toby Bartlett in the building, bro. Salute WCS in the hottest channel, the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Yes, sir. On deck is better to be global than just local. Just ask Wilder and ask Ennis and ask everybody else to sign across the pond. You know what I'm saying? They taking their business to elsewhere. They taking it from local to global. Shit. You know what I'm saying? They say I ain't got time to be waiting around here for a freaking fight. I got to get up and go, man. So if you read the title, Jahi Tucker, #1 prospect, in his promotions partnership with Hearns, where your mama, fighting words, okay? So peep this out. I want to show you a quick vid, a snippet of the #1 prospect in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? #1 prospect in the game. That's Jahi Tucker. He's fighting his super welterweight. He is a problem. Now, when others don't want to recognize it, that's okay, because you can't really base your movement off others unless that particular other is holding you up. You know what I'm saying? And preventing you from moving forward. And if you have exhausted all avenues of approach and that person is still holding you up, you got to find a way to run them over. That's just the way it is. And not so much a physical part, but you got to, I'm talking about performance. You know what I'm saying? Performance will run somebody over. When they keep talking about, telling you can't do this, or you're not going to make it to this, or they don't want to acknowledge your shine, you got to continue to shine brighter. There's been some fights out here, right, that Jahi's been a part of. That's been absolutely amazing fights, man. Skill set and his minimal experience. I'm talking about minimal experience in professional fights. He's 10-1-1 right now with 5 knockouts, 21 years of age. He has no losing records on his resume. That means all his opponents that he's fought has had winning records. That means their win column is higher than their loss column. Okay? Long as their loss column is not higher than their win column, it's a winning record, right? So one of his fights, because people were seeing all the highlights, His fights leading up to these fights were highlights. People was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Who is Jahi Tucker? Who is Jahi Tucker? That's what they was asking. And he was at 47. You know what I'm saying? That's when he was at welterweight. And then he was able to move up to 154. But check this out. He laid the foundation at 147. He showed that he was a very versatile fighter, extremely talented, has an unbelievable gas tank, y'all. When I'm saying, Jahi Tucker is the number one prospect, I'm not gonna go behind it and try to explain myself to the ones that has been on somebody else's list. That's no official list. That's not even official as Ring Magazine or BWAA rankings. You know what I'm saying? It's not even official like that. It's just one person at one promotion, Timothy Bradley, who's making a prospect list. Anybody can make their prospect list. But my point is, I'm not feeling no type of way about who he has on his prospect list. I'm feeling some type of way as to why he don't have Jahi Tucker on his prospect list. That's all. It's nothing as to the other fighters. But I just look at it like this, and I say it without any compunction. You know what I'm saying? I look at the prospects that he has on the list, and at this point in time, with Jahi having 12 fights, I see him as the number one. That means I see him as the top dog when it comes to prospects. Now, of course, when you in the fight game, people always want to say, well, they're going to take it one or two ways. They're going to say, well, you hating on the fighters that's on the prospect list, or you really don't know because he ain't really, it's other people that's more popular than him that he ain't. Look, I cannot sit up here and say he's the number one prospect and worry about who's on the list or what weight class they in. That's not the reason why I'm saying. I'm talking about what I've seen, what I've witnessed. You know what I'm saying? His overall skill set and what he's able to do in the ring, both offensively and defensively, in my opinion, out of all the prospects Timothy Bradley put on that list, Jahi Tucker is number one on that list. For some reason, some strange, weird reason, he's not getting the recognition to be on that list. And that's okay. Like I said earlier, it's better to teach when they're in the process of still sponging up, this knowledge, rather for them to get the shock of their life when they felt they done did everything there is to do in boxing. But yet, they run into a moment where they experience the hocus pocus. They understand, they experience the corruption. They experience the shock value of, I never thought this would happen to me type of deal. But it's happening to him right now. And he gonna have to push through it. In this thumbnail, he has his younger brother who's also gonna be competing as a professional, while Jahi Tucker is still on deck. He's a 4-time national champion, $1 Million Molly, Jamali Tucker, number one in the nation. You know what I'm saying? They're under the same banner, man. These are two talented boxers. His brother's still in the amateur ranks, while Jahi Tucker's in professional ranks. That's just the way it is, y'all. Y'all can look at it however you want. You can basically tune in right now. You know what I'm saying? And understand who he is. He's rising. And don't think he's not on the radar. He's on the radar now. There's people out there that's waiting for him to get back in the ring. He's one of those silent assassins, so to speak. People probably want to hear him more, but he's out there. He's doing interviews. He's out there getting his brand out there. He's doing a lot of things behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to boxing, he will get his just due. All that's needed is for him to continue to go out there and show them who is Jahi Tucker. That's it. Everything else is going to speak for himself, man. Everything else is going to speak for itself. No doubt about it. Now, we can remember this fight right here where this was his debut at 154 pounds. Okay? Let's just take a look at that. Don't ask me how this supposed to happen. But his first fight with Nicholas Seknishvili. All right, all right. Let me share screen right quick. Let me share screen. I want to show you something. This is why I say when you're fighting fighters, when you're performing at this level, when you're showing that you can handle, difficult situations that you didn't have time to prepare for, but you go in there and shine. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to his box rec right quick. This is Nicholas Seknishvili, 8-2, eight wins and two losses and 6 knockouts, right? Look at this date right here. The last time he fought was January 2023, Jahi Tucker. Jahi Tucker broke this guy up. Let's go down here to the first fight. This guy fought as heavy as light heavyweight now. As heavy as light heavyweight. Super middleweight fight. Look at these fights. Super middleweight now. Middleweight. Catchweight. In between catchweight, right? Then look. He fights a fight at super welterweight. Loses the UD. Then he fights another one, David Rodriguez, retires him, and then he steps in there with Jahi Tucker, who's just moving up from 147 pounds. Now, why is this very, very important for you to know this? This guy was huge in the ring. I was there along with my colleague, Shaw News, and, we was looking at this guy. We say, damn, oh boy, he got some size on him. You can tell by his freaking box rec pictures, his freaking head is like an aquarium. You know what I'm saying? That's a big dude. This is damn near hardly any frame left. You know what I'm saying? But this was a big dude. And he had fought as high as 175. But yet they matched him up with Jahi Tucker, who was just moving up to 154 pounds that particular fight. Now, this was supposed to be a tough fight. And in the early going, to open up the first frame, he was able to catch Jahi, right? Me being there, vice you all sitting at home looking at this fight. I remember hearing, hitting the replays on how y'all reacted when Jahi Tucker got caught. It wasn't more so that they was wishing ill will on Jahi. It's just they just had this little, he ain't in the clique. He ain't attached to a content creator. You know what I'm saying? That we can get behind him. He ain't the popular guy. So when he got caught, they thought, yeah, this is it right here. All the hype is gone. And standing ringside, I was when it initially happened, I really didn't break my stance with the camera. I'm looking through my lens. I'm just trying to get the picture. And I was just saying push through it. Push through that. And for him to get caught the way he did, and then still have his cognizant properties, and he was able to, with everything he trained in the gym, his endurance, you know what I'm saying? It was able to get him through that moment. And he did it damn well. To get caught like that, and then for his opponent to try to land some more hard shots and to work his way back to be, defensively responsible and be able to avoid some of those shots all the way to the final tick of the first frame. When he went back to the corner, it wasn't no freaking panic. His pops, music told him, his father trainer told him, you know what I'm saying? Just watch out, you know what I'm saying? Pay attention. And it wasn't like Jahi, was neglecting, that he had some of the best defense in the game. It's just when you in there with a certain particular fighter, sometimes you want to prove to yourself. If a fighter is that big and follow that weight class, you want to feel their power early. You want to see what they got. And he was able to feel his power. Ultimately, it hurt him a little bit, He said it like buzzed him or whatever. But when he went to the corner, it wasn't no panic. You know what I'm saying? Stand up in the corner. It wasn't no sitting down, stand up in corner in between rounds. You know? So when they were seconds out, Jahi was standing up there. I remember Seknesh really looking over him, and he had this sneakish smirk on his face. And he started to talk. He started to talk to Jahi. You know what I'm saying? Because that was Xander Zayed's sparring partner. I can only imagine what they was doing because Jahi called out Xander Zayed in the press conference. And I'm assuming that may be the reason why he's been getting the type of you know what I'm saying, unwanted energy. But what God created, no one can take that away. You know what I'm saying? No weapon formed against. So when he went into the press conference and called him out, certain people didn't like that. Well, that was, Nico Seknesh Billy, that was Xander Zayed's sparring partner. So when he was standing up there to open up the second round, he started to open his lips. He was smiling. He felt that this was going to be the round that he stopped Jahi Tucker early. At this time, Jahi was undefeated. And it's nothing like shooting ringside because you get to see everything as close up as you can. TV don't do it no justice. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking through my camera. I'm looking at Nico. I actually think I have some pictures of his expression because he was the one that was in the far corner. I was shooting over there near where Jahi's corner at. So when I seen him looking at him, he started to talk, trash talk, and he felt like that was the moment like, yeah, I'm about to go in for the kill. And for the next 7 rounds, it didn't work out well for Nicholas rather. It didn't work out good for Nicholas, man. Jahi put on a boxing clinic, one of the best boxing clinics from a fighter of that caliber of recent months, man. He put on a boxing clinic. This was not no slouch, no pushover. You know what I'm saying? This was not any old type of that. This guy was the real deal. He only had one loss heading into that fight, and that was against an undefeated fighter. And that was at super welterweight. When he stepped in there with Jahi Tucker, and look at that. He had another undefeated fighter. Then he stepped in there with Jahi Tucker that was 9-0. And that was back in April of 2023. So how do you look at that? How do you look at that? How do you look at this right here? You look at it as a beginning. You look at it as a test. You look at it as the test been completed and passed. You look at it like, damn, that fighter has a killer instinct like no other. And to complement that with his skill set, being able to fight from the outside to the inside, and then what he's able to do on the inside with his punch connection and with his connect rate. His connect rate is sick. It's hard for me to find, fighters with his amount of fights that knows how to fight in rhythm the way he does. Barely slipping punches and being able to counter. You know what I'm saying? Barely slipping punches, man. Right when you see his head right there, you say, okay, he's right there, and he's slipping the other way. He's at some other angle. It's a beautiful, you know what I'm saying, skill set and rhythm to see Jahi dance in the ring in the heat of battle. He may not be the most talked about fighter, but we ain't worried about that right now. The real ones know who he is. You know what I'm saying? The real ones know who he is. The real ones have no other way except this, who Jahi, yeah. They can talk about his loss all day long. But they definitely have to bring up Francisco Varone. They definitely have to bring him up. This dude was ranked top 5 middleweight. This dude was ranked top 5 middleweight now. And they didn't want to mess it up because they got some big hopes for this dude. But they couldn't rob Jahi either. Because they know Jahi went in there and won that fight. But they had to give it a draw because they have plans. You know what I'm saying? The machine, sometimes they have a lot of people running the machine, different components. They in communication. Some fighters, they got plans. The manifesto has different plans. The itinerary is different. So they had to bring it to a draw. But combine that with his all 3 fights, even his loss to Nicholas Flash. All these fighters, when they fought Jahi Tucker, they somehow have changed directions. Nicholas haven't fought since then. You know what I'm saying? April 2023, he hasn't fought since then. Nicholas is fighting at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nicholas. He just came off a win. And then Francisco Verón, he hasn't fought at middleweight again. He's fighting at 154. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It's only a matter of time before he have his breakout fight. And he's only 21 years old. He has plenty of time to build up his resume the correct way. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many varieties that goes to his cachet. So many layers that you can talk about in his talent pool. I'm talking about he has some very solid compeers in the talent pool of boxing with his amount of experience. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has a very great group of boxers in the talent pool that he's you know what I'm saying, he's fighting in the same era. They have around the same amount of fights and experience. But out of those guys, you have to understand, yes, there's popularity. I get it. There's popularity. There's absolutely popularity. But I also look at it like, let's compare performances and who did they fight and how did they look. Let's compare some of the pluses that a fighter have and the minuses that they have. Minus is not so much, because not all of them have losses. It's a lot of undefeated prospects that's on the move. But what are you going to call Jahi? Is he a prospect or is he not? Because it seems like people, they want to pick and choose whether they want to call him a prospect or not. Is he a prospect or not? Are y'all unwilling to call him a prospect because y'all know he's that talented of a future star? Y'all don't want it to conflict with any other fighter. I mean, you gotta call it as it is, y'all. You gotta call it as it is. Man, he's out of the fighters that's his freaking so-called experience level, the pay grade of his experience level. He's the number 1 fighter out of that group. They just want to go off popularity, man. That's all. We talking about engine. We talking about engine, man. The engine's different. The IQ's different. You know what I'm saying? How you going to keep up with the pace is the question. It's just a lot to deal with to not provide the recognition and say, this is the number 1 prospect that you need to watch out for. It's not shitting on nobody. I ain't going to explain myself to people. I'm not going to explain myself to people, man. I'm not, going to sit up here and give you a freaking speech and say, well, this is why I feel the way I do and not this. No, I'm telling you straight up, like, that's the way I feel about the situation. Overall, man, he's a very, very highly skilled fighter for the amount of fights that he got right now. 12 fights now. 12 fights. Yeah, he have a draw. He can't erase that. Yes, he has 1 blemish. He can't erase that. But his entertainment value, you'll see for yourself as time and time goes on. It's people that want to see him in the ring because he's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? The way he put his combinations together, the way his rhythm is, how fluent he is in the ring. Yeah. Keep your eyes out. Keep your lookout for Jahi Tucker, man. That's all I'm saying. Keep your eyes peeled for Jahi Tucker. All right. I want to get to the thumbnail of Team Ennis. This is something I can say that I appreciate. That first of all, with Team Ennis, having the courage to get up and move away from the attachment of feeling that's what they needed to do, is just stay right there in place and wait for something to fall into their lap. No, they actually got up and went over there with Eddie Hearns. YSM Sports Media, salute to him. He did an interview recently, or he put together a video of the run-ins asking him why they moved over there. They said they just want to be active. The inactivity, they want to go over there and be active with some fights. Now, who they fight while they over there, I don't know. But he did mention that Boots Promotion is partnership with Hearns. I don't know how true that is, but I'm not saying it's a lie. I just don't understand how much of a factor is going to be with him over there with Hearns. You know what I'm saying? How much of a percentage that's going to benefit him. But if that is indeed the case, good. Boots Promotion, good. You know what I'm saying? That's where you at with it, good. It's a positive vibe from over here. I'm glad him and his pops was able to get up and go over there with Hearns and make a different move in this career. Don't just settle. Just don't sit there just because you don't want to upset somebody or you think you're going to lose some fans going over there to the white man. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of that, you see how Ennis them made a move to go over there to Eddie Hearns because they felt it was beneficial to where they want to do business, and Eddie Hearns could potentially put them in a position to get fights, right? So it was business orientated. It was a positive, productive move for business. Okay? You're talking about a team who's been tied up in legality, in courts, to them to go over there to Eddie Hearns. Now, one point I want to make about them going over there is the fact that him and Wilder went over to Eddie Hearns for the same reason. Right or wrong? Right or wrong, y'all? Team Ennis and Wilder went over to Eddie Hearns for the same reason. I'm right or wrong? Is anybody talking about Team Ennis going over there for the white man? Have you seen anybody talking about Team Ennis going over there to the devil? Have you seen that? Have you heard anybody talking about that? Because to me, it's for business. They got to get paid. In order for them to get paid, they got to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So boxing is very, very, it's a short list of top tier promoters that's in the game. We already know that. The ones that has the money to pay these site fees. The ones that's established. The ones that come up with an annual schedule. There's only so many that's out there. You got Top Rank. Who else? You got you got the Zone in the building. We don't know. PBC struggling right now with the budget and all that. They struggling. I'm gonna call it the way it is. So since they struggling, you have two former fighters that was attached over there. They went over there to freaking the Zone, man. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it. Him and Wilder went over there for the same purpose. For the same purpose, man. Devin Haney's did business with Eddie Hearns, and several other black fighters have did business with Eddie Hearns. So for me to hear everything that's going on with Wilder, Team Ennis did the exact same thing. And I'm happy that they're able to spread their wings and get over there to the Zone and potentially get a fight in the near future. YSM did ask, was there, a fight that's on the horizon? Who you gonna fight next? When you gonna be back in the ring, per se? And he said he'll let him know. He got some big coming. You know how boxers do. They always talk about they got something big coming. I got some big announcement coming, whatever. The good thing is that we know he's gonna get a fight. With who? We don't know. And no, he didn't mention Crawford's name. But this is all about me saying, you know what, it's a good look for them to go over there to Eddie Hearns. And I wanted to let people know they went over there for the same reason Wilder did. I guess Wilder's supposed to stay and be inactive for a whole nother year, huh? I guess he's supposed to be in the same situation of Amal Charlo, huh? You know, calculating the amount of fights they had in the last 2 years. I guess he's supposed to be like, you know, other fighters that might be inactive and don't know what they have going on, like Spence. So this ain't about the white man. This don't have nothing to do with the white man. This just has something to do with you know what I'm saying, people that have a vendetta against certain fighters that they don't like. They just want to keep them in the shadows and make sure they continue to push them deeper and deeper and deeper so nobody remember who they were in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They want to continue to keep them in the darkness with criticism. When you give somebody that much power to think their voice is people listening to them like that, you know, it can be a lethal cocktail. In this particular case, it's good that these boxers are making move away from that. It's good that they're not staying still just because they want to be with the black man. This don't have nothing to do with staying with the black man. This has something to do with getting paid and getting a check and supporting yourself. Not looking goofy, talking about, oh, I was loyal. I was committed. I stayed over there because I was committed with the black man. Well, why is it struggling over there? Why does it seem to be a struggle over there? Because somebody, you know, chose to do business a certain way, which in long term, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. The bridge collapsed. It burned down. When everything was good, everything was good. You know what I'm saying? People was laughing, giggling, chuckling, celebrating. Everybody was dancing. But now the music somewhat stopped and it's slow. You know what I'm saying? It's slow to get back on beat. And you have to understand some of these fighters that's going over there to these different promotions, they're not totally, you know what I'm saying, disbanded, free from contract from over there. They just been given the green light to go over there and freaking, you know, get a paycheck. They still, some of them cats still got to pay freaking Al Puba. I'm just letting you know. I mean, everybody think that they just leaving PBC. You have to understand, which I'm not going to go into tonight, but them contracts are not fun, bro. Them contracts over there are different. Them contracts over there are different. Believe that. They ain't just walking away from Al Puba and going over here free and clear and making money with Al. Not if their contract ain't up. Understand me? I'm telling you what I know, bro. I'm telling you what I know. Let me get to the chat right quick. Shout out to Big Blunts Unboxing in the building. Tim got an issue with Jahi, in my opinion. He implied Top Rank was gonna cut. Yeah, for sure. You know, Tim has something, and it's unfortunate. Once again, another black man that's in a high position. You know, he's up here celebrating all the other black fighters, and kudos to them. Salute to them. I'm happy to see these young black fighters, you know, that Tim is praising to be on his prospect list for sure. So I'm like this, you know, don't look at me like it's a problem for me to remind you that the way you treating this youngster, you're not teaching him anything. You just making him aware of something early. You just making him you just make him aware to be cautious as he move in his boxing game. That's all you're doing, Tim. You're not recognizing him. That's going to be your downfall, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to treat that man like he can't box. I could see if you just didn't want to show him no love and then talk too much about him in the fight. But the criticism that you give him, that's just throwing absolute 1,000% shade. You know what I'm saying? You have ulterior motives as to why you don't like this guy. And, you know, he's not going around on social media cussing people out and, you know what I'm saying, just being absolutely belligerent and being hard to deal with. No. I mean, you should know that boxing ain't all about having the perfect attitude, being all melancholy. That ain't the way it is. Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Jahi L stand for lesson. He learned so much from that fight, in my opinion. Yeah, talk that. You know what I'm saying? Talk that fire, man. Real talk. Talk that. For real. Yeah, Eddie said it was a joint promotion with Boots. Yeah, I just want to see what the, as far as educational wise, like I want to know what that consists of. When you say joint promotion, I've heard that before. I've seen banners with other promotion. I've seen the PBC banners. You know what I'm saying? I seen when I was in Beverly Hills. They left um you know Crawford Promotions off the banner. People don't see the little things like that. You know what I'm saying? They said the man was a two division champion. I'm just saying, what does it consist of when you're partnering with the promotion? What does it consist of? What percentage? How do you benefit from that? You know, are you able to make more money in certain areas of the fight night that you're on? Um, I'm just curious to know what that means. With certain promoters, I know it's different. That's why I say boxing is not uniform across the board. So with different promotions, hey, it is what it is. I'd like to know what that's about. How did he benefit off having a partnership with Eddie? And that's another salute. I gotta give Team Ennis, man. At least they looking real smart. You know what I'm saying? Getting up and going over there to a promotion. There's several other black fighters that's been over there and not listen to these idiots on social media. Conquest on deck, salute. So is this Boots Promotions rather, that was involved in the lawsuit with NOW Promotions, or is it Boots Promotion, a newly formed entity to sign with Matchroom? Good question, man. Good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it was Boots Promotion. I know that the fighter, was signed to Cameron Duncan, right? Who was now promotion, right? So therefore, and Cameron Duncan was his manager too. So when Cameron Duncan passed, the lawsuit was pretty much basically saying, we don't have confidence that the widow can continue to move forward and provide us with the fights that we're looking for, the expectations that we need moving forward to get these fights. And also, from what I read, that they felt that she wasn't experienced enough to handle that position. So that's a good question. That's a very good question, and I'm gonna have to ask around for that too. If you know the answer, just put it in the chat, because I don't know if it's Boots Promotion going in there, because I didn't hear anything about that. I ain't really been hearing anything about Boots Promotion until he signed, like Toby mentioned, until he signed with Eddie Hearns, and when he said it in YSM video. So yeah, I definitely like to know what that was about, because that was dismissed with prejudice. That's over with. But I didn't know. I don't know if they was in there as Boots Promotion or just Jerron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But Boots Promotion is a thing right now. Real talk. That's a thing. Let me keep it moving. So as I was talking about earlier with the Ryan Garcia situation, you all seen what happened. I had a thumbnail up here earlier, um, with Ryan Garcia, but I want to show you, like, the aftermath of Ryan Garcia speaking with his promoter and boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya. And I guess this was prearranged, premeditated for them to get up under Devin's skin and get him upset. He used the oldest trick in the book, people. He talked about Devin's mama. So in some places you get killed for stuff like that. I mean, I'm not applying that to this. I'm just saying they used the oldest trick in the book. And that kind of pissed Devin off. You know what I'm saying? So if it's for him to get shoved the way he did, you know, and not respond, I guess he was content with Devin losing his patience and tolerance and being impulsive and allowing him to emote Devin to push him. You know what I'm saying? To get Devin to emote just based off where your mom at. At this point in time in the game, man, you should be able. It's just certain fighters you want to do that to. Ryan Garcia, look at Devin as a friend. I don't care how much people think. They still they still friends. Understand where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can try their best to try to sell tickets and do this, but they still friends, man. But I guess Devin had enough of where your mom at, and he was talking to Oscar De La Hoya and saying that that's what we wanted from him. I think it's a little bit childish for them to say, oh, that's what we got. We got what we wanted. We got what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? We got what we wanted, y'all. We got him pissed off. But I want you to listen to Showbiz once again. And y'all don't feel no type of way when I do reactions to people videos. Because if it's out here for general public, I mean general public. If it's out here for the general review, out here for the public viewing, you know what I'm saying? Public record, so to speak, it can be commented on. I want you to listen to what he said about this particular situation. Because some people, they just speak and it's very loose. How some people can get very, very complacent in their platform that they're in charge of. They just get very complacent. And I think they believe that they can just say anything and no one's paying attention and listening. People should be paying attention and listening to what I say too. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. If someone critiqued me or they didn't agree with what I said, it's okay. It's okay. I understand where you at with it. Because I critique I do reactions on what people say all the time. But listen to this right quick. What Showbiz Adult? Shout out to Showbiz Adult. This is for educational purposes only.
Look, bro. This is Ryan Garcia right now.
So what he's holding is the Joker from Batman. All right. His title is saying Breaking Ryan Garcia comes out as a woman. Leaks game plan for Haney. All right. He's showing a part, which is, shout out to the media that was there on site. They got a good little snapshot of Ryan, being very, very happy that he was able to get that reaction out of Devin. That's what he wanted to do.
Let him get to you. And they leaked the whole plan.
Yeah, that's what you want. I fucking want.
When Oscar did.
So he's saying they leaked the plan. Oscar said that's what you want. You want him to jump out of character. You want him to, lose his patience. You want him to be on edge. I mean, come on. I mean, we've seen this in boxing. Oscar's just talking. Oscar's just trying to, pump up Ryan, get his confidence, have him go in there and have a damn good showing. That's all. That's what Oscar want. He wanted to have a damn good showing. Because we all seen what happened when Tank stopped him and Oscar then was out, and Ryan Garcia was criticizing them for leaving him. But a lot of things happened that night. But let's continue to listen to what Showbiz the Doe has to say.
De La Hoya was talking to Ryan Garcia. He was like, "That's good." And they're like, "Yeah, we got it." Here's the thing.
Now hold up before he get into this. I call this verbal spaghetti. Okay? What he's about to say and how he said it is verbal spaghetti. I used to say this a lot in the core. You know what I'm saying? And people used to say, "Man, how you come up with this shit, man?" Like, damn, it's not like it's totally wrong, but it makes sense. and how you put it out there. This is verbal spaghetti on what you're about to hear, showbiz, and how he tried to arrange it. See if you understand what he's talking about.
Even if, because he did get to you by talking about your mama, then you talk back about his mama, then you pushed him. He got to you, he triggered you. But the thing is, he had no problem leaking that footage of him and Oscar De La Hoya talking about that's their plan. I got to him. We got to him. Because now
pay attention.
You're going to be trying to not let them get to you. You get what I'm saying? So now he's in your head. He's in your head in a sense where he can trigger you. He knows he can trigger you. And now he got you putting effort in to not getting triggered.
So he's basically saying Devin Haney is going to focus most of his energy on Ryan Garcia not triggering him. When your mama and all that, when the cameras are rolling, it is what it is. But it's not like these fighters are going to be around each other and keep on crossing each other's paths all the way during fight week and all this physical contact. End of the day. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to go over here and say, well, your mom at again, and Devin's going to push you. You know, he got the push out the way. In my opinion, it was a dangerous push on his part because he could have injured the man. You know, not so much injured Ryan, you know, in the way that he couldn't fight. It probably could have impacted him being ready for the fight, and the fight could have been off. You got to be smart about that. But go ahead.
Boxing is 90% mental.
Okay. Showbiz. Let me explain something to you, big dog. Let me explain something to you about continuing to use that. I don't know why certain content creators love to has these phrases that boxing is 90% mental. Ask these fighters who went in there and was fighting 15 rounds and say that boxing was 90% mental. Ask them. Ask them if it's 90% mental. Because if you take the remaining 10% and you're trying to say that's all you need, and you have an 8-week training camp, all you have to do is go in there and you got a 4-hour session, take 3.5 hours, and sit your ass in a chair and just meditate. Meditate, because boxing is 90% mental. 90%. I've heard you say that before, brother. I totally disagree that boxing is 90% mental, because you sit your ass in that chair each time doing fight camp. Let's just say you're doing 2-a-days and you have 4-hour sessions or whatever, and you take 3 of those hours and you having 2-a-days or whatever. That's 6 hours that you sitting down and meditating. All right. You sitting down and meditate, and then you're gonna take the last hour of that 4-hour period that you have allotted to train, and you're gonna go in there and get your strength and condition. You're gonna get your sparring, and then you're gonna stop once that 60 minute hit. That's your 10% of physicality, because you said boxing is 10% mental. I mean 90% mental, right? 10% physical. So you can sit your ass in a chair for 3 hours out of the 4-hour training session, just meditate. Just work on your breathing. That's all you need to do. And I guarantee you, Showbiz, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get destroyed. We need to get out of them cliche terms that sound good. Boxing is 90% mental, because not everybody's boxing IQ is the same. Not everybody has a high boxing IQ, but they may be physically fit. Their endurance, their durability, their toughness. That's physical, though. Some of these boxers love working out all the time. Is working out 90% mental? You have to go in there and physically put in the effort. Yeah, you're going to use some mental. to go in there. But ultimately, you got to use your body. You got to continue to use your body. Boxing, you going in there and talking about, oh man, I have to really figure my opponent out. It's 90% mental. That's all I got to do. Physical. If you don't have the physical to match the mental, you're gonna fail horribly. You're gonna get probably stopped, or you're gonna take losses and everything. And just because you think boxing is 90% a mental game. Yes, you have to have a mental blade, and you got to continue to sharpen that. But to just say boxing is 90% mental, I mean, come on, bro. It's way higher than that. It's way more technical than that. It is.
And Ryan Garcia is very aware that he can't beat you IQ wise in the ring. So he wants you off your square. And what was I saying in the live stream? I said, bro, you got to keep him within your square. Everything.
Um, Showbiz. Just because a fighter jumps outside their comfort zone, which happens a lot, right? I mean, I understand what you're saying inside the square. People use that phrase all the time. They walk around in life talking about stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? Control your square. Don't let nobody breach your square and all that. That's just a freaking demarcation, a mental demarcation. That's just a demarcation, a boundaries that you have that's transparent to everybody else. Your square. Your square can be, the sizes of people's square depend on who they are as a person, what they went through in life. All these squares are different. You know what I'm saying? The space is different. Not so much physical space, but mental space. So when you talk about square, he got him outside his square. It's just boxing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Devin pushed him when they had met up at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl gathering or whatever that was, event. Was Devin outside his square then? I mean, he pushed Ryan. And then he pushed him again. So say this, outside the square and all that. I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything, bro. That's just like, I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. It really don't. These are boxers, man. A little pushing and shoving, man. They don't hate each other like that. They don't hate each other like that, bro. They don't hate each other like that. I'm gonna be honest.
It got to be basic math while he does all this shit. So now he done got this guy. Did y'all see that Ryan Garcia says now he's saying that he's a woman?
Now what I'm gonna do is screenshot, because this is one of the parts where I was gonna save to another day, but let me show you what he's talking about, because I really don't want to use his video per se. I just want to use his audio. So let me show you this right quick, because you remember the other day when it might have been today that I showed you how Ron had on all that makeup, and he was now in NYC, and he had all that eyeliner and stuff on, and all that stuff. Check this out though. Check this out. So this is what Showbiz is talking about right here. Devin touched me without my consent. I'm suing him for putting his hands on me and identify as a woman. So he touched me as a grown man and hit a grown woman. Now, this is where I say that the boxing content on here, it just becomes clownish, bro. That's all. You know what I'm saying? It's just some clowning around by Ryan Garcia to say that, he identifies a woman. See, when you're Ryan, you can get away with goofy stuff like that, but let a grown black man say that. Let Wilder say he identifies as a woman, they'll be calling him gay. They'll be gay bashing. They'll be calling him homosexual. They'll be questioning his sexuality. They'll be calling that man a trans. They'll be calling him gay. Everything, they be calling the F word, the sissy, all that. But see, Ryan can do all that goofy stuff. He can do all this goofy stuff and say he identifies a woman and get away with it. Nobody won't say nothing. He's trying to say woman. I mean, Devin touched him and he identifies a woman, so he feel like he's been assaulted because Devin put his hands on him inappropriately or assaulted him. You know, just like we hear on the news all the time, where you have these Karens and stuff like that. But this is stuff we got to deal with boxing media, man. It's just any old freaking sign. That's when the cameras are rolling for people to make content. This is just so goofy, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's just so goofy. I'm not even gonna hold you on that. It's just really goofy. You know? Real talk. Just so goofy, man. Let me continue this video though. Let me I was trying to wait to the next part. Let me show you the next part right quick. I'm gonna give you a screenshot. And this is why I'm saying Ryan can get away with this bullshit. You know? And see, they trying to sell a fight and you're doing stuff like this, you're saying things like this. It's just so sloppy, man. It's not even looking like it's two men in the ring. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for somebody to say, you know what, you acting like a bitch right now. You gotta act like a bitch to freaking sell tickets. This was the second half of it. So he touched me as a grown man and hit a grown woman. And I'm LGBTQ. So now it's a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? He can get away with that shit. I can tell you what, a black man won't get away with that. Crawford would never get away with it. Crawford would never get away with that. Any of these other black fighters, from Shakur Stevens to Keyshawn to Shushu to Abdullah Mason to Jahi Tucker to freaking, the Charlos to the freaking Devin Haney, they won't be able to get away with that shit. Never. Jerron Ennis, they won't be able to get away with that. They say some crap like that, they're gonna say they gay forever, man. They're gonna continue to bring this up in this screenshot. That's just the way it is, point blank, period. But Ryan, he's just doing stuff above and beyond, man, for attention. He goes in there and get his ass dropped, or he lose this fight, man. I want to go out and say, man, he's pretty much done. You know what I'm saying? All this clownish stuff he got going on, it's still gonna be people that want him to come back to the ring, so they can see his little pretty little mug with all the makeup and the hair done and all that.
He probably is. He probably identifies as, that's what he says, so he is. He's a woman now. All right?
See, this is what I'm saying. This showbiz, though. Showbiz is his name. He say that shit with a straight face. It's hilarious, man. You know what I'm saying? I know I ad-lib a lot. I can be sarcastic. So I ain't mad at him for what he's saying, I ain't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? It's just he say that with a straight face. He identifies a woman. And, right now, if you look at what Ryan is doing, it's not too many people going to frown upon it because it's him. Because he's able to do goofy stuff his entire youthful life. He's been able to get away with doing super goofy stuff. He can get away with it, man. He has the complexion for the detection to get him protection. Seriously, that's what he does, man. So him saying all this LGBT and identified as a woman,
or she's a woman now, okay, bro. And the thing is, this wasn't just Ryan Garcia's plan. Did you hear what Derek James said?
April 20th, what I believe Ryan has to do is, first of all, be the best version of himself. Secondly, I believe that he can't let Devin be Devin. He has to let Devin Haney be somebody who knows the name Devin Haney.
So this why, one of the reasons why I want to, because, Showbiz has the editing team and all that. So he just said, it's also what his coach said, which is Diddy James. He said, Ryan Garcia can't allow Devin to be Devin. He can't allow that Devin to be Devin. This warrants a second take. Okay, I gotta just rewind this a little bit and and take the bouncing balls off the screen because they're all over the place right now. They even hit me on the head. They coming off the screen.
Named Devin Haney.
Bingo.
Who knows somebody named Devin Haney. He has to let Devin Haney be somebody who knows somebody named Devin Haney.
Bingo.
He has the really think about who's saying this shit. Like, is the blind leading the blind, or they got the perfect plan? Which one is it?
Devin be Devin. He has to let Devin be the best version of himself. Secondly, I believe that he can't let Devin be Devin. He has to let Devin Haney be somebody who knows somebody named Devin Haney.
So he has to let Devin Haney, or make Devin Haney be somebody who knows Devin Haney. He can't allow Devin to be who he is, that complete boxer, that pure boxer, and go in there and beat the brakes off Ryan and beat the eyeliner off his face. You know what I'm saying? And leave him bruised and battered. He can't let him be who he is. He can't let him go in there and beat Ryan, beat him with 1,001 jabs like he did Kambosos. Ryan Garcia in trouble, man. I know he's going to try to go out there early on and not respect the strength of Haney, but I think Haney is much more tougher than people give him credit. I mean, stronger.
Bingo. You can't let Devin the American Dream Haney be Devin the American Dream Haney. You can't let him dictate. You can't let him know himself. You can't let him be able to identify who he is. Ryan Garcia.
All that showbiz is called a game plan, man. That's called the game plan, straight up like that. It's just called a game plan. That's all. It's nothing too serious. It's called a game plan. That's all it is. I'm not gonna go through his whole video. I just want part because, Ryan is identifying as a woman. He's a part of the LGBT, and he was trying to make light of Haney, shoving the way he did. So now, you look at it like the fight is we're on the eve of the fight, and Ryan Garcia is up here acting like a female. He's identifying as a female. So when Devin go up there and bitch slap him, I don't want nobody up here crying, talking about, hey, you know what I'm saying? Man, see, if they would have had to fight in Vegas. No, this is what y'all like. You know what I'm saying? You like circus acts. So you're getting a circus performer. You like circus acts, you get a circus performer. Ryan Garcia is going to give you the circus performance that you want. Either one of two things. He's going to show up and shock the world. He's going to jump through the motherfucking ring of fire and come out on the other side unscathed, right? Or he's going to try to play around with the tiger and he's going to get mauled. That's how it's going to go down. Either he's going to shock people and play with the tiger, you know what I'm saying, and beat the tiger's ass, or he's going to get mauled, man. The way he's acting, I can't see him going in here winning that fight at all. It seems like something else is up. It seems like somebody else is going to be the determining factor in this fight, either the judges or the referee. I do not see Ryan Garcia beating Devin Haney on his own skills. You know what I'm saying? On his own time. I don't see him beating him. Just based off raw talent and skills, I don't see him beating Devin. I don't, bro. Shout out to Andrew Charles on deck. Salute to you. Shout out to Commission on deck. Salute. Jay on deck. What's good? Ben on deck. What's good? Salute. Salute to everybody that's on deck, man. He said Ryan wrong for bring up Devin mom. Beat down 420. Yeah, man. He gonna get those hands, man. He gonna get those hands. Seriously. I want him to act goofy like he did after the Luke Campbell fight. Oh man, I was like, I got knocked down. Okay. I got you, man. It's just Ryan's too goofy, man. Ryan's just too goofy. The promo for this fight's been atrocious, mainly because Ryan acting like a crackhead. You're right, man. Now he's identifying as a woman. I don't know if y'all seen it, but shout out to Showbiz the Adult. That was his audio. Shout out to him. He does put together some great quality videos. You know what I'm saying? But I don't agree with everything he said, but I don't dislike the brother. He be saying some stuff I just don't and I'll do a reaction to it or whatever. But this is what Ryan Garcia said. Um, you know, let me take that down so y'all can see it. He said, Devin touched me without my consent. I'm suing him for putting hands on me. And I identify as a woman. So he touched me as a grown man and hit a grown woman. So I was telling the people earlier that Ryan can get away with this. But if any of these black fighters do something, we already have a stigma. You don't have to be down here in Atlanta to have a stigma. Everything a black man do, if he do something that's even closer related to femininity, he's called gay. But Hispanics do it all the time. They act feminine all the time. And people just laugh at it and keep it moving. I'm just saying. I'm being real about it. You know what I'm saying? I know Ryan don't know any Spanish, Espanol and all that, but I'm just saying in general. Andrew said, only saving grace for this fight is the fact that Devin gonna put Ryan through the ringer. Hey man. Hey. Ryan has, on top of it all, we can say that Ryan's been acting like a freaking walnut, right? A crack walnut. But more people are tuning in now this fight week, and they're anticipating. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want on fight week. They're anticipating. They want more out of this. They are anticipating now. Oh, I can't wait for this fight. I can't wait for this fight. They're anticipating now. That's what they're doing. They can't wait to see how the fight go down. Is Devin going to go in there and beat the brakes off of Ryan Garcia? Is Ryan Garcia going to go in there and beat the brakes off? Who's going to be the better man that night? Will it be mano a mano, tit for tat, and leave it in the ring with the fighters to determine it? Or is it going to be something like Tony Weeks, stopping the fight with Barroso, or something dealing with the judges, Robin? I'm just saying. The way Ryan has been acting a complete nutcase, it just seems like somebody's getting robbed, man. That somebody might be Devin Haney, because he's the only one that has the hardware. Period. It may not be all about Devin going in there having the best fight plan. It may be something else, man. It might be something totally, you know how boxing is, something totally different, and you say to yourself, no, why is that happening? That don't make any sense. What the heck? What the heck is going on? What? You know what I'm saying? That might be the case. He said Ryan estrogen is showing. Yeah, man. I agree with you on that. And this is the second half of it. That's the second half. Let me move that comment. He said, so he touched me as a grown man and hit a grown woman. And I'm LGBTQ. So now it's a hate crime. Ryan can get away with this stuff, man. Seriously, he can get away with it. He can joke around, play these types of games. Look at Oscar. Oscar has all those freaking suspect pictures out there when he was having fun with his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Nobody says anything. Oscar's, who he is. Once again, if a black fighter or if that was B-Hop, who those pictures would have came out with Oscar, they would have still been terminating him every chance he get. They would have said, you effing mother, you know what I'm saying? They would have called him FAG, all that. Sissy. But Oscar, he can walk up and people know, and they still rock with him. They say, hey, how you doing? Oscar is a legend. But to be in fishnets and do all this crazy stuff, Ryan fits right in with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, all that, paying for that girl to come out on a trip with him and all that, man, it's only a matter of time before some pictures come out and somebody's trying to extort Ryan Garcia because he was being goofy. You know what I'm saying? Didn't pay attention. I don't know, man. His mama seemed locked in, though. Him and his mom had a conversation on live. Him and his mom seemed locked in. She ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? She ain't stupid. But once again, I use shout out to Showbiz the Adult, man. That was his audio. Respect to him and his content. You know what I'm saying? Respect to him and his content. And lastly, I just want to put this out there. You know what I'm saying? Angel Reese won 7 in the WNBA, and this is her 4-year payout. Now she should become a boxer tomorrow. Man, women try their best to be empowered. This is crazy. As much TV and exposure that she got in LSU, for her to be going into the WNBA, she's getting paid 73,000. Now, if you ask the male fighter, they spend 73,000 and blow it at the restaurant on draft night. You know what I'm saying? 2025, she's getting a slight pay raise, y'all. The $74,909. In 2026, she's getting 80. Oh man, I already know she got NIL. Her NIL is like 1.5, 1.8, or whatever it is. But this is crazy. She should become a boxer tomorrow, bro. Become a boxer. Something. You need you need to become a tennis player. Tennis players get the same payout as a man, thanks to the Venus and Serena and some other players. But the women tennis, they get equal pay, goddammit. They get equal pay. This right here is just insane. Insane. Your 4-year contract, you getting a 4-year payout of $324,000? Wow. I'm on the budget. You're gonna budget. You still ain't gonna be able to really get a house that you want. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in like freaking 2,000 square foot with two bathrooms, man. Two bedrooms, 2 baths, man. I just wanted to put that up there. You know what I'm saying? Funny how nobody say Diddy when he put that post up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've been trying to leave that alone. Yeah, I'll say Diddy James, but that Diddy shit, I'm not trying to really go there because he used that against Haney, right? So that's why I wasn't trying to, put it out there just yet, because, we got the rest of the week and it's going to be way more content to put out there. Something else is going to happen. You know how that goes. Yeah, man, it's pretty low, ain't it? She need to do something, become a tennis player. She need to become a race car driver, motocross, MMA, something. But for 4 years, 300 something thousand, jeez. It's good that she does have NIL. You know what I'm saying? Over $1 million. It's good for her, man. Good for her. But hey, y'all, I'm about to bounce. You know what I'm saying? I've been on here for a minute. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Appreciate y'all. We should do it again another day, another time. You already know. I'm out. Peace.